most people don't realize. They are walking into financial quicksand. Right now, as we speak, 8% of Americans are in debt, not counting mortgages. And here's the scary part. Many will die owing more than they ever borrowed. Why? Because debt isn't just numbers. It's a system designed to keep you poor. And the traps are everywhere. Some look harmless, some even look helpful. But they all have one goal: to keep you paying forever. Let's break down the most dangerous debt traps, the ones quietly stealing your future, and how to escape them. Credit card minimum payments. It starts small. You miss a payment deadline, or you spend more than you planned. The bank says, "Don't worry, just pay the minimum." Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Minimum payments are a trap. If you owe $5,000 at 20% interest, paying only the minimum could take over 20 years, and you'd pay more than double in interest. The bank loves this. You become a lifelong customer. They call it loyalty. I call it financial slavery. The way out? Always pay more than the minimum, even if it's just a little. The faster the principal drops, the less interest eats your money. Buy now, pay later schemes. 4 easy payments, 0 interest sounds harmless. But here's the catch. These microloans add up. They train your brain to spend money you don't have. You stop feeling the pain of paying, and suddenly half your paycheck is gone before it even arrives. Real story. A woman in Texas had 12 BNPL accounts. From shoes to furniture to electronics, she wasn't paying attention. Until she realized she'd been sending 40% of her income to tiny installment payments. She wasn't in control anymore. The companies were escape plan? Treat BNPL like credit cards. Only use if you can pay immediately. Otherwise, skip it. Payday loans. The smiling ads say, "Get cash today, no credit check." What they don't tell you is the interest is criminal. Some payday loans carry APRs of 400%. You borrow $500, you pay back $2,000 or more. These lenders thrive on desperation, and they know you'll be back because their business model is to keep you broke enough to return. A man in Florida borrowed $300 for rent over 18 months. He paid $3,200 and still owed $150. That's not a loan. That's a trap with a welcome mat. The solution? Avoid at all costs. If you're desperate, borrow from friends, family, or sell something you own, anything but payday loans. Car loans with long terms. Once upon a time, car loans were 36 months. Now, you see 72 or even 84 months. It sounds affordable because the monthly payment is smaller. But here's the truth. The longer the term, the more interest you pay. And the longer you're stuck, paying for something that's losing value daily. A $30,000 car at 6% over 84 months costs over $6,000 in interest. And after 3 years, you owe more than the car is worth. That's called being upside down. Escape route? Never stretch a car loan past 48 months. If you can't afford the payment, the car is too expensive, student loan pitfalls. Education is important, but student loans can be a life sentence, especially when interest is capitalized, meaning unpaid interest gets added to your balance. You end up paying interest on interest. That's how a $40,000 loan becomes $75,000 over time. Worse, many people don't fully understand their repayment plan. They defer payments, thinking they're getting relief, but their debt is silently growing. Solution? Understand your repayment plan inside out. Pay during school if possible, and target the highest interest loans first. Store credit cards. Save 15% today. That's the bait. But store cards often have high interest and tricky deferred interest clauses. Miss one payment, and suddenly you owe interest on the entire original balance, even if you paid most of it off. Example, A man bought furniture with a 12-month no-interest offer. He missed the deadline by 5 days. He was charged $800 in back interest, on top of what he'd already paid. Tip: if you take a store card offer, mark the payoff date on your calendar and clear the balance well before it's due. Co-signing loans. It feels generous, helping someone get approved. But when you co-sign, you're 100% responsible for the debt. If they miss a payment, your credit score drops and collectors come for you, even if it's not your purchase. One woman co-signed for her brother's truck. He stopped paying after a year. She ended up selling her home to cover the balance. Rule: never co-sign unless you're ready to pay in full, because you just might have to. The psychological trap of good debt. We've been told there's good debt and bad debt. Good debt supposedly builds wealth, like mortgages or student loans. But even good debt can trap you if it's more than you can handle or if your income changes suddenly. Debt doesn't care about your intentions, only your payments. Why debt traps work? Debt traps work because they mix psychology with math. They lower the pain of spending today while pushing the consequences into the future. And future you always seems richer, right? Except future you is now present, you and you're broke. How to break free. Step 1. Face your numbers honestly. Write down every debt, interest rate, and payment. Step 2. Target the highest interest first. Step 3. Stop taking on new debt until the old is gone. Step 4. Build an emergency fund so you never fall back into the traps. The truth is, debt can be a tool, but most of the time it's a trap. And the sooner you recognize it, the sooner you can walk away. Because freedom isn't just about making more money, it's about keeping the money you already have. So ask yourself today, which traps are you still caught in? And what will you do to cut yourself loose?